Good night, fellow punters. The clock on the wall says 9:15 on Thursday night. I'm in a B&B in Cong, County Mayo, not that far from Ashford Castle, where my tour pair are staying tonight. We got out of Dodge this morning, out of Galway City at we were out before 9. They were waiting for me at the head of the road. We were supposed to pick them up at 9. I arrived at 5 and they were waiting. I didn't have to go into the car park at all. They wanted to get out of Dodge, so we headed for Clifton. They wanted to get laundry done. So I checked to see where there was a place, and we left it in, and we were told it would be 3 o'clock to be ready, but it was ready just after 2. We done the Sea Road tour. There were a lot of wows, a lot of awesomes, and a lot of whatever the other word that we use with the views. I took a lot of photographs, and we ate blackberries as well. They were tasty, the other side of the road. And we got back, then we went for lunch to Griffin's, and my God was it good, with the bacon and cabbage. I left my plate, I could have licked it. It was as good as ever I ate, that's the truth. And it was cooked by the owner's partner. She's a very talented woman, he was telling me, David Griffin, he was telling me all she won with medals for running and this, that and the other. I forget half them. And representing Ireland in a few things. And it was great. Didn't have any dessert, didn't ask. So they went for a walkabout then, and I went to the Green Bookies for a few minutes. I was in it actually to see the first race at Doncaster. I couldn't believe how soft it was gone. I knew our money on Strong Johnson was down the Swanee before the race. Conditions didn't suit. For a horse that barely gets 6 with soft ground, he had no chance of getting home. We went to... we left there, and they wanted to go. Around about going to Colmore Abbey, but they wanted to go to the castle because they're into these castles. So it was about 4:30, I think, or 4:45 when I left them at the castle. It's like going into Buckingham Palace. There's a book at the gate first. You have to get clearance there, and then there's a book on the bridge. John, 2 Mayo books. I challenged them about winning Mayo for Sam. There was a horse running today or yesterday, Mayo for Sam. Some comedian must have named him that. And then there was another fellow above at the door to give us a ticket to move down 50 yards for every bag to be taken out and brought in. And I came out the back way, and I actually had to go around the town then and up to where I'm staying. I went back into town then and just got a quick bit to eat in the evening there. So tomorrow we're heading for Letterkenny. So it's over 3 hours, and we're staying in Derry tomorrow night. So it's a long day's driving tomorrow. I'll be doing my Columbo work because they have relatives in Letterkenny, and they have air codes. So we will be going to try and locate land that they owned, and maybe some graveyards, or to try and get headstones, photographs and that crack. So busy day. It'll be late when we get to Derry tomorrow night, I'd say. I just want to say, I forgot there last week, to Martin Crotley from the Wales Racing Club. Every second or third month he does give me money or send down money to be donated for charity. The last couple of times we gave it to Terry Woods, and this time I told him it was €156 that he had in bets that he puts on during the month. So I told him to, in memory of Terry Woods, to send it on to some cancer research or cancer related charity in England. So he said he would. Thank you very much, Martin. There was a couple of, I think, members of his club that had thrown in tenors or €15 or something as well. I forget their names. If you want to leave them in the comments, Martin, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. I will, when I do this video tonight, I'll send €50 to the Injured Jockeys Fund. I completely forgot the last week to do that, so I'll do that tonight. It'll be up on Just Giving to check. That's about it. I'm rattling on a bit there. So we had, we're hard looking that half 7 race. If he held up for a split second and came through the 2 horses, I think would have won. But he swung across to go up the rail. That was just enough, and the £2 allowance for the 3-year-old to do it by a short head. I thought he might get there, but just didn't. It wasn't to be. It was a pity because it was 4-1, and he opened up 9-2 actually last night at 4-1. I know there was a bit of a rule 4. I think it was 10pence. The ground was against Long Johnson, and I didn't see the other race yet. I'll have a look at it after a while. I seen it was down the field. I should have probably stuck with one evening. The bus horse, Buick, got second on it again. But anyway, on to tomorrow. First one to look at is a horse that won for us at 16-1 the last time, drifted from 6s out because the ground was good to Ferrum. Barader. George Bowie and Buick. I like Buick. Buick doesn't mess around. He reminds me a lot of the late Pat Smullen. But the ground was against him the last day. Everyone was saying that's why he drifted. But he was up there with the pace all the way. Now, Hickory hasn't franked the forum since. That's why I picked him the last day, but he finished
Mitro's on fire, trying to come through. Lear Special and Fresh, and then in behind these is on the far side, Bless Him, trying to get there, and Takrib Bay coming through. Meanwhile, on the stand side, Barader leads the way to Ramazan, a Star of Orion, and Northern Express, and Hickory is coming home well down the near side. Takrib Bay is taking it up on the far side from Fresh. Montasib on the near side. Barader is all out the near side. Have it. It's Barader that leads the way to Star of Orion and Hickory, and it's Barader who wins the International.
He went up a few pounds for that, but if you look at his form, he has ran well in Doncaster on heavy ground. He was as a 2-year-old, he was behind Max Swiney in a Group 1. Then he, in the Lincoln this year, last year, in heavy ground, 7 furlongs, heavy ground, off 93 he won. And then he was, so that's a third, and then he was third in the Lincoln this year behind Migration. That was in heavy ground, so the ground won't be a problem if it's soft. It's slightly short of 7 furlongs, but he's a pacey sort. I'm expecting him to go close again tomorrow. 96. He's up £4. So Buzz Horse hopefully will do the business. And then another Buzz Horse tomorrow. Baez. He's won 3 times for us. But it's a tough nut tomorrow, or tough nuts tomorrow to crack. But he has a right chance of an each way, or she has, I should say. She's gutsy. She won off 57, 63 and 69. She's off 72 now. 2-mile race. If you look at it through Simple Star, she beat Simple Star. And Simple Star was behind, which one? Maybe just the one that was third. Could have been. Anyway, it's an each way shot. There's 8 in the field. I hope the dead 8 stay in place. Wonderwall is probably well handicapped because it's 130 in the 130s over hurdles. So that should be high 80s early 90s. If you take the £40 into consideration, so it's in at 79, but it doesn't win that often. It was actually behind Sir Gerhard in the bumper in 2021. Only one since. So we're taking it on tomorrow. It's an each way play. They're 2 bus horses, so hope they can run to their merits. There's a couple here that I was handicapping these for the last hour. The 650, the 450, Ballybawn Belter. Now, someone put up the other day, you never know with these colours, whether they're on or off, or handbrake on, handbrake off. But this needs a trip. This is too much. This is the farthest I has ran. But it won in Leopardstown, Mayor's Race last February at the Dublin Racing Festival. It won again then at 2.5 mile in Punchestown. The last and then the trip wasn't fair enough for it. It needs a trip. And if you look at the race here, it finished 8th. Finished 8th in the race, but was lashed on the turn for home.
Contention. Shanwalla next. Outside is a great view with another choice. 6.5 furlongs to go. Thornley Frank.
It wasn't off the air.
The final best start. Dropping right off them is also for Hobbs. This is Thornley
It's
Frank.
lashed at that bunch there now.
From Building Bridges, Arthur Dock, Snugs, but
He's pushing it, but
drop back on the inside. Then
he's pushing with the handbrake on.
Shanwalla, another choice and a great view written along. We'll have one been asked to pick up. Heading to the final 3 furlongs with 2 flights to jump. It's Thornley Frank and Mark McDonough leading Natalie. From Building Bridges, Orden McGill, then Arthur Dark. Ridden along by Dad O'Keefe, then Zoffany Bayard. Till Shanwalla's closing in the red cap. Round the outside is We'll Have One with Snugsbury Benny. 2 out Thornley Frank. From Building Bridges within a length, then Shanwalla. We'll Have One on the outside, then Arthur Dark and Art Hill, and Something About Her stays on it of Moon Over Clune, and then a great view Zoffany Bay. Snugsbury Benny, Big Debates, another choice, Fancy Cosmo, and at the final flight it's still Thornley Frank the leader, started into it from Building Bridges, then Shanwalla. Moon Over Clune is running on against the rail, then Art Hill. We'll Have One and Something About Her, 150 yards to go. Thornley Frank all out from Building Bridges, Shanwalla the near side with Moon Over Clune, Thornley Frank, Building Bridges, it was a head bobber. Building Bridges, Thornley Frank, Shanwalla, Moon Over.
I think there was 17 in front of it, jumping the lash, and finished 8th. It will be running on tomorrow. If the handbrake is off, it has the right chance. But you'll be able to see what price is it. 130, 3 to 1. There's a 1 mile 6 race there in Doncaster tomorrow. And in the last 5 years, a 4-year-old has won it 4 out of the last 5 years. A 3-year-old hasn't won it since 2017. It also won a 3-year-old won it in 2016. The favourite there, and there's a lot of money from the last 2 days, is the Goat. But this is a mile 6. It hasn't ran that distance yet. The battery is going to go on this now shortly. How is there a plug near? Another hole. Oh, there's one here. Bear with me now for a minute. I should have done this. We're running out of petrol. There we go. I better put on the switch. Our own business. There we go. But it has run at the last 8 mile 6, but I'm going against that favourite. I'm going on the Real Dream with Cut in the Ground. I think this is the right chance tomorrow. The 3-year-old is getting £10 all right, a weight for age allowance. But if you throw out the last, it was down the field in the Ebor, but that was good to firm ground. And it was good to soft in Ascot there. It pulled away nicely, I thought, this day.
Continues to be in front, pursued by Crescent Lake. Woken up in third place, Real Dream, the blue and yellow making significant headway down the centre of the course now as they enter the final 2 furlongs. And with the yellow cap, Real Dream and Richard Kingscote has come through to take it up. Crescent Lake in second place. Rhythmic Intent is 4-5 lengths behind those in third. A furlong to go. Real Dream has the advantage here now, beginning to pull clear as he races up towards the line. Going to be a third career success for Real Dream. Richard Kingscote winning 4-5 lengths there. Crescent Lake in second. Green team has moved.
So hopefully Ryan Moore is looking in and he'll say, look, it's time to do it tomorrow for the bus. In Down Royal tomorrow we have Go On Tig, but it's a tough enough race. He went up £10 for his last win. There's a Como Park there of the Bromheads, first time in a handicap. It was rated in the 90s on the flat, so that should put it in the mid 120s up to 130, and it's only rated 107. We have another horse of ours there, the one we dream of as well. And I'd have to go have my opinion on the Betfred Doncaster Cup tomorrow. Won last year by Coltrane. Went against him the last time. There's 4 horses in that race that we actually have bet on before. Trushan, it let us down for a treble when it wasn't going that well. It's coming back now from wind surgery, so it could have been rectified, the problem. The Grand Vizier was second for us in Ascot, and we have our buddy Sweet William, but he's way out at the ratings, but he's strong in the market, which is a surprise. And then the outsider there, or the other one, is Broom. But Coltrane on the ratings shouldn't beat, on last year's form, shouldn't beat Trushan on soft ground. But he's a classy horse. Ascot Gold Cup winner, won for us in Ascot last year as well. It'll be a right race between the two of them. I haven't made up my mind which way I'm going. I'll have to see what way the market is in the morning. If I go one way or the other. If I'd stayed with Coltrane the whole time, he'd be going for a 5-timer for us tomorrow. I went against him the last day, went on the other one, Quick Thorn. But anyway, that's it. A long time waffling on. Bash the bookies, over and out.